Well, we're all back once again. It's a nice little Friday morning here. Things are moving in the early morning hours. The CPI has come out yet again, and the market is excited over a few $100 move. Crazy. It's like the fun never ends. Anyway, I see a lot of familiar people here. I see a lot of people in this place as well. It's awesome to see people as well on Twitter. Mr. Lamochilla Azul says, I love you. I love you as well, sir, in the most gayest of gay ways possible. Now I'm married, but I can still have a gay lover, so it's all good. And that's just what we have to deal with in the year of 2025. Pesto, good morning to you, man. Good as always, see you. Bitcoin Joe on the ring. Michael's Fury. Horhig, what's up, man? Good to see you. It's been a while, I feel like. Asti, good morning to you as well. Morning Sugar, indeed. Ondo Ponch says, if y'all came here for some shitcoin TA, it's going to zero. Send me your monies. Gracias indeed, sir. Yeah, I mean, most of them are on a long-term trend towards zero. It's a crazy idea that has been proven true over the past 10 years or so. But still, we must ask, is my shitcoin going to the moon? Because it's possible that this might be the 0.000001% of shitcoins that actually does do such things and then gives it up much later on. Anyways, as always, nothing really changing there, to be fair. Gay lover here says, Ozzy, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Big up from Canada. Big up! Big ups! Yes, big up to the yardies. The yardies in the world. Do you know what a yardie is? Do you actually know what a yardie is? What's up, Bear Nutrition? Good morning to you, man. And Mafia on Twitter as well. Does anyone here know what a yardie is? If you're from England or from Jamaica, you should know what it is, because the yardies are actually what the Jamaicans refer to themselves as. They call Jamaica the yard, in case you didn't know. There's your interesting fact for the day. Probably not going to serve you at all in life, but in case you ever hear that term, that's what it means. Why do I know that? Because I heard it recently and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I looked it up on ChatGPT. It's amazing, man. Exporting premium grade Aussie hate straight to your Kimmets section, says PJ. What's up, man? Good morning to you as well. The muzzle fucker says, honeymoon over. It's an all downhill from here. That's right. It's all over. It's all over. It's all over. It's time to get rid of this shit. It's time for the divorce, indeed. Playing roulette and watching Crown and Awesome Morning. Are you bullish on Canada? I don't know. I've never been to Canada. I don't really know much about Canada except from what I've seen on the news. And it doesn't really look like a place that well, honestly, Toronto actually does look quite cool. Toronto looks like a cool city to be in. But I think, at least from what I've heard and what I've seen, especially, after the Rona times with that whole trucker protest, that was concerning to see. But then again, I'm not going to fucking live there. Maybe visit, perhaps. But I imagine it's quite beautiful, especially out in the outback. But all good, man. All good indeed. What's up, Aaron? I see you over there, man. I see you over there. Good morning to you, sir. And Biff the Pear, good morning as well. Hate from Hateville. Yes. Hate from Gainesville. Do we trust any pump? Look, I really don't have anything to say that's different from yesterday's video as far as, trusting pumps, if you will. I think that this current move is very likely. I mean, it's a nothing move right now. I just don't think that there's any sort of bullish twist to be throwing on shit until you're back above that Tuesday high of 114. I see a lot of people getting extremely excited here about Bitcoin in this early morning after a $500 pump. I saw a lot of people getting excited over the past couple days. The last dump before the final pump. And honestly, I just don't see it myself. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but for fuck's sake, like if you want to be a TA autist, at least get shit right. And at the very fucking minimum, you be looking at that last major pivot as very, 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 very important for confirming any sort of, short-term / medium-term bullishness, which is, again, is that Tuesday's high. That is a classic fucking thing going on here where you see a major rejection. And as long as you're below there, you have to treat that rejection, or at least if you're going off of classical TA principles, you have to treat that last rejection as significant, meaning that we followed that same direction until proven otherwise. What is proven it otherwise? Bitcoin just needs to trade back above that high. By the same token, if you do want to put on your bull-colored glasses, you could just be looking at, Wednesday's low. What essentially was that? 106,700 or so as potentially a higher low. But again, when you have a trend, in this case, a trend to the downside, because we do have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high yet again, it's better to be betting on same side continuation again until proven otherwise. So while there is potentially a higher low in place, it doesn't really get confirmed as a reversal until you get that higher high. And that is certainly the more important piece of that puzzle before confirming even a short-term reversal. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's just, look, if you want to go by the book and if you want to play the high probability move, that would be what to be mindful of. And I do get very fearful here, especially seeing really it seemed like a really great excitement, especially on social medias like YouTube and Twitter recently, this morning, especially about people calling, this is like this low is confirmed. I don't see it myself just yet. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but for fuck's sake, like, let's, have something to go off of. Otherwise, you just, be like a fucking leaf blowing in the wind, just going with whatever direction was the most recent printed, for the last $500. Just things don't work that way. Things don't fucking work that way. Anyways, move seems weak after a good CPI, says Calamity. I mean, at the end of the day, the CPI, it was spot 1% better than what was expected, which, is obviously better than not being better, duh. But it's not like anything super crazy. I don't think it's anything super, uncharacteristic. Ultimately, it seems like things are still on a path for quantitative tightening ending relatively soon. And then what comes after that, rates continue to decrease. Maybe quantitative easing does actually start right after that. But, so longer term, I think that does still bode well for markets. But in the short term, can we see a correction drag onwards and further south, getting people out of what could be some great positions? I think it's definitely possible here. Let's go check out some traditional markets. I'm curious to see what they're opening up at. We got another, 14 minutes left to go. NASDAQ futures are once again making new all-time highs. I can't hate that. So again, it's like, am I bearish on Bitcoin saying that the cycle is over? No, I don't think so, or at least that's not like my first. It's just not what I'm thinking right now. Until at least I see like a weekly or preferably a monthly downtrend, to be honest with you. But that's going to be, much further in the future, I suspect. I think that those people who are looking at the cycle over, they do have some things in their favor, but especially with traditional markets making new all-time highs, it's like, I don't want to be betting on it just yet. What the fuck was that? It sounded very, very loud. There was like some, it's the washer. The washing machine is making a lot of noise right now. There was someone honking in the background and then the washing machine going crazy shit. Anyway, same thing over here on SPY futures. Nice little spike up on that CPI release. Again, as I've been saying for this past week, this just looks like another weekly high or low. I continue to be bullish on traditional markets. It is significantly easier to maintain that bullish bias here for traditional markets. So again, if you are more long-term, I think that just having core positions in traditional markets is the no-brainer fucking play. Especially right now. Again, this is more or less I don't know if I'd say like a fresh break to new all-time highs, but this is just a continuation of the trending move. Just let it do its thing. This is what it's best. This is what it's best at. This is what it's known for. Again, I will show you the much more long-term history here of SPX 500. And if we go back to the beginning, to the genesis, or not even the genesis, but from about 100 years ago, you can see that all these breaks to new all-time highs, they typically get continuation for significantly further time before topping out. I mean, all of these moves, we're almost in like 1960s right here. They look like they're just out of fucking control. But of course, the market continues upwards and onwards with that higher lows on the monthly. This is really fucking important here, because if you start to read too much into these short-term reversals on a fucking daily, it just doesn't hold. It doesn't mean anything if you're more long-term. It really does not. If you're looking at a weekly, monthly, okay, yes, these things start to make more sense. But even then, until you get a monthly lower low and lower high, like you're just not even looking at a major correction that I think is even threatening. So again, Bitcoin can play more volatile than these, and will play more volatile than these. But these are really good things to reference for more long-term general direction. Again, we're back in 1980s over here. This is a break to new all-time highs after a more or less 10-year long consolidation. And again, when you follow this, it becomes very, very clear what's going on. It's just, don't get too fucking bearish. Don't get too fucking bearish just yet. Yes, it will happen at some point. It will be right at some point, because yes, you will get something like this. This is, 01, 02 bubble over here leading into the 08 crash. But once you break to those new highs, I mean, just let the trend be your friend. Let it do what it's best at doing. We can go check out some traditional stocks as well. I'm curious what Coinbase is doing to open up this market, trading a little bit up on the open, 335. Ultimately, I do still look at this as a nice consolidation range. I think that that's more or less good. Can it come back down to these range lows? Sure, yeah, but I'm not necessarily bearish on it. I stated that this thing had topped out for a long time back in late July. I still hold on to that belief, but I don't think it's like going to crash down here or anything like this. I think, maybe it comes back down to like $300 or so. But overall, as long as this thing's doing all right, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be, having its own crashes or anything like that just yet. I do expect these still more or less trade kind of hand in hand. If we can go check out IBIT as well, I always like looking at this one. This one's probably going to be opening up very, very, very slightly as well. Indeed, it is 63.23. Again, on IBIT, it is super, super, super simple. Look, back above Tuesday's high. Get ready for a move, for IBIT back to like 68, 69. That's going to be like 118 to 120 for Bitcoin spot. And of course, back down below Wednesday's low. That's your confirmation of bearish plunge team, plunging, of which I'd be looking for a move to, very low 100s or very upper 90s. That still would be a higher low on even a weekly. So I don't have any major concerns here, but that would be a big percentage move, to be fair. Maybe not big enough for the crypto bros to care out there in the world. Of course, nothing, underneath like a 20% move seems to wake people up in this space, but it is what it is, man. Anyways, I am going to take another sippy sip of this water. I want to say massive thank you, by the way. I just randomly caught it out of the side of my eye here from David Benji. He says, massive super chat as well. Thank you for that, man. Congratulations on your marriage. I do sincerely appreciate that. Both of us sincerely appreciate it. I really have to say again, like we truly both were blown away by the amount of just well wishes and support and just, I don't know, people being nice about getting married. It's really fucking cool to see. So massive thank you for that. I appreciate that, man. Been watching since Elio mentioned you years ago. Yeah, Elio is the man. Now I cross-reference my Bitcoin setups with your analysis. That's really the way to do it, man. That's really the way to do it. And I really appreciate that. It shows that you are thinking for yourself. It shows that you're doing your own homework. And then you look at me as more like a colleague rather than like a fucking boss, which I never want to be. I always want to be seen as a colleague or at best, or at most as like just someone who's a little bit further down the path than someone who might be starting out in the trading or investing world. Because at the end of the day, you got to trust your own analysis more than you trust mine, more than you trust anyone else's, because only you will know your specific preferences. Only you will know what you are actually trying to do in trading or investing. Thus, only you can create the best strategy for yourself. Now, you can use principles from myself or from other people as well. That's really the major value that I want to be giving out here. That's why we center our tools around the Quant Prime service, which just basically allows you to do all of this shit at light speed compared to what you would be doing if you're doing the shit by hand or God forbid anything else. But yeah, that's the main point. That's the main point. It's giving you the tools and giving you something to reference. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to be creating their own strategy. It's, to use a really cheesy but honestly true analogy. And I think someone said this in the Discord and it kind of stuck with me. It's like creating your own lightsaber. If you're a Star Wars nerd like me, it's like creating your own lightsaber. Everyone needs to do their own at the end of the day. You can, of course, take instructions, from people who are further along the path than you. But at the end of the day, you're creating your own shit because only you know what you're going to like best and what's most appropriate for yourself that accomplishes your goals and also, addresses your skills, your strong points. One of the things that I see so often with newer traders, and sometimes investors as well, but maybe less so because longer term is just easier, I suppose. But especially with newer traders, is they're trying to they think that they need to be in a trade all the time. They think that they always there's always something to do, and honestly, it is completely the opposite. There is not always something to do, and in fact, what you should be doing as a trader, or at least in my opinion, what you should be doing is hyper specializing in a very, very, very small portion of the market where you can accurately identify. Oh shit, I know what is extremely likely to result from this pattern over here or from this setup over here, whatever it is. Thus, this is my edge. This is what I want to capture. Fuck all of the other shit because there's too many things that go on and most of it is noise. But I remember seeing, I saw a comment on Twitter the other day where someone was like, there's always a trade to be made. It's like, no, there's really not. And you couldn't dox yourself as a fucking unthinking moron better than stating such an irrelevant or such a counter real fact. I mean, for fuck's sake, like this is a big influencer. It's like, wait a second, this goes against literally everything that I've ever known ever and learned personally about trading and investing. And it blows my fucking mind. It really does. Anyways, all right, that's enough ranting for right now. Perhaps we talk a little bit about markets. We'll get into the super chats as well, obviously. But yeah, let me take a sip of this water first. There we go. Oh shit, I realized my chats over here have not updated. What's up, Aaron? I see you, my man. I see you. Do we trust any pump? Like I said, I don't trust any pumps until you're back above that Tuesday high. I mean, this analysis for today, honestly, is super, super simple. It really is. But we'll start it off from the top, as always, looking at some good old daily price action statistics. What do you fucking know? What do you fucking know? Holy shit. Blows my mind every goddamn time. Price action pivots, once again, getting the high of the day just with perfection and precision. Bitcoin selling off a little bit from that number. This is actually CME right here. Let's go look at spot price action. Might not be the same on spot, although it is very, 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 very close. That one was officially at 112,300 or so. Bitcoin getting very close to there, just above 112. Now more or less selling off almost $1,000 from that number. But again, Friday is slightly more in favor of positive closures versus negative closures. Again, these are not like humongous numbers since the bull market began. As always, we care most about the average gains for the winning side and the average losses for the losing side, which are just over 2% and around 1.75% respectively. Bitcoin has more or less traded up towards that average returns range high for positive closing Fridays and has, pulled back on that first pass. You've seen it a million fucking times. And here's 1,000,001, number 1,000,001 times. So again, if you're looking for something to give you a bit of an edge for short-term scalping on a daily basis, there's nearly a trade that evolves from this, at least one trade per day. We saw it yesterday as well on video. We're seeing it again today right here. I want to again state that if you see Bitcoin pop back up towards this morning's high, a similar reaction is significantly less likely. It's not impossible, but it's just significantly less likely. It's the first pass that you're looking for if you want that very high probability move. By the same token, if Bitcoin does play down to the average returns range low at 108,200, that would be very likely a bounce on the first pass. I'm not like super convinced that we're going to see a move down there today, but if you do, then yeah, very likely a bounce on the first pass, probably a scalpable bounce as well. Again, you can get this indicator for free for 7 days. It's part of Caretaker's indicator suite. It's in the link description below. I love shilling this one because you just see it every fucking day, providing an edge. I mean, for the short-term time frame scalpers, I mean, you have to be looking at this as just money every fucking time. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Anyways, moving on from there, and I just want to get into the real heart of this video, which is just the most simplistic piece of analysis, but it really is that simple today and going onwards and forwards from here until one of these two conditions is confirmed. And it is this. Look, if you see Bitcoin back above that Tuesday high of 114 and change, that is at least my confirmation of a short-term reversal. Because yes, Bitcoin does have technically a potential higher low in place right here. It is within the context of an overall daily downtrend. But hey, you do have the first piece of a potential reversal in place. But it is not confirmed until you are back above that Tuesday high. If Bitcoin were to trade above Tuesday's high, especially close a daily above there, even a 12-hour at this point would do it as well, then I would be looking for a move into the deep teens. Let's call it 118 to 120-ish region. I imagine we got some major fibs there as well, and in fact, we do. From these lows, somewhere in this vicinity over here. But ultimately, my major point today is as long as you are below there, I do have a short-term, medium-term bearish bias here for Bitcoin, and I do think that downside is more likely, at least in the short term. However, if you want that sort of confirmation that Bitcoin is indeed going to come back down, at least around these lows, and personally speaking, I do think that it will, it does have a chance to get into the upper 90s if Bitcoin does fail this condition. But if it does come back down below Wednesday's low, which is 106,700, then that would just be more or less continuation of trend here, confirmation. This is, like I said, still a downtrend. You got high, you got low, you got lower high, you got lower low, lower high again. If it comes back down below that prior low, you do got another lower low. So have to be looking at least back down around these lows, probably bounce along the way or two, who knows. But again, this all hinges upon Bitcoin's ability to just not go back above Tuesday's high of 114 and change. So long as you're below there, I do think that, all of this stuff is just a fucking distraction for the over exuberant people of social media, of which perhaps we are them as well. We probably shouldn't disassociate too much, but ultimately that still is in place. Not saying that's impossible, just have some major conditions in place here, because until then, nothing's really changed, to be honest with you. Anyways, from there, I do want to explain why I don't think we will get that upside reversal first, or at least if you do get a trade above Tuesday's high before another move to the downside around this week's lows, again, around 104-ish, let's call it 103 to 104, I would be highly, highly skeptical of it for, something like this, or I guess I already have it drawn in there. But it would be related to, again, the 5-day setup over here. We've seen this play out so many damn times, and we are actually in the midst of one happening yet again. This is the 5-day time frame. We're looking at that red moving average crossing the downside of the yellow moving average, anytime that we've seen it over the past 8 years, there has been a minimum correction down to the green moving average, and we have seen it fire off yet again as of a week and a half ago now, the 13th. In fact, sorry, more than a week and a half. But again, that would imply that the green moving average is a minimum corrective target. Doesn't mean that it has to, hit it immediately. It certainly can, pop up first and then come down. There's no sort of time analysis on it, although typically it does get hit relatively quickly. That has been what has happened over the past 8 years. In fact, almost all of these, happening within 2 bars or less. So I guess it would be more likely that we do see it come back down here sooner rather than later. But again, that would naturally bring Bitcoin back down below that previous low. Ooh, I got Intel crossing $40. What the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus Christ, man. I mean, that's good. I'm happy about it. Look, I'm not complaining, but that's crazy shit. That's crazy shit. Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, that, if this condition does get fulfilled on this current period, which is the next 3.5 days, that would naturally bring Bitcoin back down below Wednesday's low. So, that does still have a short-term bearish bias, and that can bleed into, more importantly, the weekly time frame over here, which will very likely cross the downside and initiate the same sort of corrective measurement if Bitcoin finishes this week out below about 109, I would say. So it's still pretty far away, to be fair. At current rate, it's not going to happen. If we go over here to CME, I'd need to see CME actually finish today below 109. So basically, if you don't see CME closing today below 109, then the weekly still, remains in an okay position. Doesn't mean that it can't happen the next week. It's just we don't have that signal just yet. But again, if that does happen, then that minimum corrective target moves from about 104 to, let's call it 98, 99,000 bucks. Again, as a minimum. So do keep your eyes on that. Of course, I also want to round out my buys here by looking at the higher term time frame stochastic momentum oscillators, of which they're all more or less on the same side here. 2-day time frame, if I can actually blow it up, is going to continue to show downside pressure. Again, playing out the same trendline regression, although that was many moons ago that it did actually hit it. That was in early October. But the current momentum pivot is 115,500. The 3-day time frame is also continuing down here below 120, almost 122,000 US dollars. The 5-day time frame, which also closed tonight for CME, is continuing down below 119 almost. The weekly time frame, which also closed tonight, is going to continue down below 119. The biweekly time frame, which also closed tonight for CME, is going to continue down below 121, assuming Bitcoin's still below there by the end of the day. And the 3-week time frame, which is also closing tonight in 7 hours, 37 minutes, and 14 seconds and counting, will continue to the downside from this very, very high level, which has initiated all the major corrections in this current cycle, if Bitcoin on CME is still below 124,000 almost in the next 7.5 hours, or a little bit more than 7.5 hours. So again, I feel very remiss to say that, hey, if I have to bet on this, on a direction here, it has to be on at least a sideways continuation of this correction and probably another downside try as well. I do think that people just are getting way, really easily swept up in the emotions of this market with very, 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 very minimal moves. Again, for me, I need to see actual confirmed reversals before I change my opinion. I'm happy to change my opinion, but I just need to see those reversals first. Otherwise, you just get excited about every little, slightly green, very, very slight green dildo move, or red dildo move for that matter as well. And of course, while we're here for the higher term timeframes on CME, again, with the biweekly closing later today, there is significant drives of bearish divergence. As is the 3-week time frame. There is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 drives coming off of these last few highs, with Bitcoin closing basically anywhere below 113, I would say. So again, do I think that this thing's more likely to correct down to the mid or upper 90s? Probably, yeah. I do think so. But again, I can change my opinion on that as always, if Bitcoin does get back above that Tuesday high, at least for the short term, and be a little bit more open-minded. As far as short-term timeframes go, let's see if we got any sort of obvious signals going on right here. Bitcoin's on the 4-hour time frame still on a lower high, still using the 4-hour 200 simple as a nice governing area for the last few major trending highs here. So that still holds true. What do we have over here for our RSI chart? Let's see if we can get it loading. Would be good. There we go. Yeah, not really getting too much from here. to be fair. So no obvious signals in the short term, as far as I'm concerned. Neither bullish nor bearish as far as those signals go. So I shall go into the comments. We shall look at some shit coins, because today is the day that they're all reversing back to new all-time highs and going onwards and upwards for eternity, and we are going to be rich just overnight. I don't even need to look at who's first, because I already know who's first. Mr. Steven Shakeman, good morning to you, ma'am. I'm already guessing, but it's going to be Dogecoin. Going to be looking at it daily, weekly, and then probably Ethereum as well. In fact, I already know that is exactly what we're going to be looking at. Again, if you are just, if you want to be playing, support and resistance, looking at the price action pivots indicator, you can see that once again, the weekly is trying to base off of this horizontal here at about almost 19 cents. So that is a big sort of line in the sand for the weekly, meaning that if you do close below about 19 cents or so, then I would be looking for another move coast to coast to the bottom side of the range here, which would be about 15 cents. Somewhere between 14 to 15 cents region. I do think that you likely will get that move, especially if Bitcoin does move down as well. You can see the daily time frame over here is having what would be defined as as a descending triangle. I think that this works quite well with the price action pivots trendline extensions, but basically your highs being governed by this trendline extension right here, and that is exactly where you sold off of on this morning. So again, if you are a short-term time frame scalper, there is a pretty interesting way and a pretty unique way to be using the price action pivots indicator with these trendline extensions, because the first test into these extensions almost always does present a counter move. These are not major counter moves typically, but just like the just like the HPass, they can be scalpable for sure. So keep that in mind. And this would have a bearish bias here, obviously. So you got your highs at 20.5 cents. You got your lows at about 19 cents. It's going to be like a 2-cent move upon confirmation of a break below 18 cents, let's say. So, like I said, somewhere around 16, 15 cents, somewhere in that pocket there. If this one does breakdown is confirmed below 18 cents on a daily closing basis. Looking at Ethereum for you as well. Let's check it out right here. Same, well, maybe not exactly the same, but you do kind of have that same sort of daily potential descending triangle. This one doesn't look as obvious to me, to be fair. So, a little bit less of a probability, but just like Bitcoin, if this thing can trade back above its Tuesday's high of 4,100, I would be looking for a nice move up to like 44, maybe even back up to 45. And at that point, this thing's probably just bullish. But again, that all hinges upon its ability to get back above that Tuesday high. So you're probably going to hear that come up a lot in today's analysis. Tuesday's high has a great significance, as does Wednesday's low. Below Wednesday's low, I think that this gets confirmed as a break down to the south side. You're probably looking at a move back down around this wick low, maybe even a little bit lower towards 3350-ish region. Yeah, but to be fair, there is some phantom bullish divergence going on here, so there is potential, I suppose. I just would look at the major pivot point at 4,100, that Tuesday high, as very much significant, because if you can reclaim that region, not you, because obviously you're a person, but if this highly esteemed asset, which definitely has no major issues and is certainly more than a highly speculative technology project, could get back above that Tuesday high. I do think that it would get back in like probably the mid or deep fours. At that point, you kind of just have to be bullish on it, to be honest. And still, I don't really want to get super bearish on this thing, especially as long as you're above what was October lows thus far. But hey, if you do take out those lows, this thing looks pretty fucking ugly. I'll just put it bluntly, man. It looks pretty fucking ugly if that happens. But we shall see. We shall see. As long as Bitcoin's hanging in there, I think there's hoping for everything else. Anyways, moving on, we got Pisa. He's looking at XRP. Pisa is becoming a staple of the show as well. I love it. XRP. Slightly stronger position than Ethereum. You can see again, we got that same sort of price action pivot trendline extension here. This one holding up a little bit better than Ethereum, but again, this one is not necessarily a Tuesday high that is significant. It's going to be Sunday/Monday high, which is 255 above there. If you can trade and particularly close above there, you would actually have a short-term reversal. And at that point, I'd be looking for a move up to like 280, 290-ish region, probably even $3. Again, you're probably just going to see Bitcoin above 114 at that point. A little bit of an easier sort of signal, but yeah. And again, below Wednesday's low, big fucking problems. But if you're looking at a 4-hour time frame, you probably don't care too much about that. 4-hour would be the same analysis here as well, to be honest. Other than that, don't really have anything else to say about this thing. Probably going to choose whatever direction that Bitcoin goes, as usual. That's how almost all of this market does indeed go. Right now, 97 says, good morning, Crown. What's up, man? So happy for you and Elsa. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And thank you, man, sincerely. I'm looking at PYTH versus the dollar on the 1 and 4. Okay, so very, very low term timeframes here. Very, very low term timeframes, but that's okay. I think we can make this one work. Let's go to the 4 hour. This one already definitely weaker than the last few ones we saw. It's basically the same analysis as the other ones as well, but this one's definitely weaker, right? And it's in an overall long-term downtrend. I mean, this is just garbage shit from, you know, from Hades. It's terrible, absolutely fucking terrible. Again, not you as a person. I love you as a person. This as a chart, though, don't fucking love it. I think it should be murdered. I think it should be put in the Holocaust and burned to death. That's what I think about this chart. But if you could, by some act of God, by some grace of God, trade back above 12.25 cents, then perhaps, yes, perhaps, you might even see a nice rally towards 15 cents or so. Long term, though, this thing is never going to have a chance, probably ever, except for these one-off rallies that all fail. But, you know, if Bitcoin trades above 114, you probably got a nice, decent, you know, 20% move back up to 15 cents, maybe even back up to 16 cents, which is a big percentage move. But again, all of these moves fail. I would go as far to say that whatever high you saw from August is probably going to be the highest price that you're ever going to see in a very, very long time, maybe for forever. You know, this is just one of those down-only charts, man. Again, just bad chart, just bad chart. Morning to you, Mr. Aaron. Good morning to you, sir. Awesome stuff. Just reading some of these past comments here. Curtis says, good morning, sir. What's up, man? Been watching since the days of autistic outbreaks. There are still very much of these. Indeed, sir, because Elsa is washing dishes. Ah, yes, that we have stopped. We have stopped because we have a dishwasher. We actually have a dishwasher. See, look, we moved out of Europore, Finland to get a dishwasher. That's right. In other countries, okay, we did have a dishwasher, all right? Okay, look, I don't remember these things because it's so fucking poor and disgraceful over there. They don't have ice machines on their refrigerators. They don't have Amazon same-day delivery. They don't have filtered water coming from your refrigerator. They do not have a garbage disposal in their sink, and they certainly, absolutely do not have a garbage chute in their apartment building. All things, and also, I mean, it goes without saying, no AC. I mean, this is just pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic for the happiest country in the world. If you're from Finland, I apologize for what I just said. I'm just having an autistic outbreak. Anyways, you're looking at the Solana 1 and 4 hour. I got you, man. Let's check it out. Solana 192.5. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame. Again, same thing here, man. You know, it traded up close to that prior high from Tuesday, but it really needs to get above that high before you have anything resembling an actionable reversal. And getting rejected right before it, I mean, that's not a good sign, in my opinion. Now, it's not necessarily confirmed bearish until you come back down below Wednesday's low, but hey, the second that you do that, you know, this would be a symmetrical triangle right here, and you do have, about a $20 measured move below 176, so you're probably looking at like 155 to 160-ish region if it does break to the downside. By contrast, if you do trade back above and close above Tuesday's high, I do think that you're in for a move back well above $200. I mean, 215 to 220 probably just bullish overall. But again, easier to watch Bitcoin in these cases. I don't have like a major bias on the higher term timeframes here for Solana. If you're just on the 1 and 4 hour, I mean, those are still the major pivots here regardless. But this is looking a lot more like a local high in the process of it, but not necessarily confirmed just yet. But yeah, I think it's a lot more likely in this case. You also do have potential for hidden bearish divergence. Sorry, no. I apologize. You do not have potential for hidden bearish divergence here yet. That RSI read is slightly lower than that prior high. So fair enough. What's up, Assy? Good morning to you. Thank you for that as well. She is. She really is. She has the best laugh. The best laugh. Have a cold brew coffee and tea on me. I appreciate that. I've been loving my cold brews recently. I figured out cold brew espresso is the best one. It's the best one. I don't know how good it is for my digestion, but it seems to jive best with me. You know, it doesn't cause me those massive headaches that I sometimes get. So yeah, I appreciate that. I sincerely do, because that stuff does. I mean, it's become like just a part of my day-to-day life at this point. I don't think I've not had a fucking cold brew in the morning for, oh God, many months, many moons indeed. Also probably need some more water as well. Also need some more creatine too. Just ordered some more this morning. What? Oh no, I don't need water right now. My water bottle is full. I think I just need more water in my diet. Anyway, Shanette says BitF daily weekly. I got you. Bitfarms, Bitcoin miner, daily and weekly start off higher, then finish lower. Looks like a swing high to me, man. You also have some bearish divergence forming here as well, or do you? Yeah, you do by fucking ballsack here, but it is there. You know, probably some sideways and downside from here. But again, you know, this is quite common stuff. You're popping back up to one of those, you know, major areas of awareness, like the $6 region. So yeah, we did hit the upside targets on this one. I remember we were looking at this one on the actual break of this high about a month and a half ago now. Yeah, I think you're going to find a swing high. I'm not necessarily bearish on it though. I just think that you have some sideways and downside here and consolidate lower. Ultimately, long term, I think that this thing's actually bullish as long as you're above about $2.5 to $3. I just think it's going to take some time to kind of shake itself out here, work off of these extreme conditions on volatility, and also play out some of that divergence. But you know, it's not like a death sentence or anything like that. I just think it's done moving to the upside for now, something like that, man. Yeah, spending some time. What? What's up, Mr. Faraz? Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you as always, sir. Good to see you as always. Gingerbreadman or Gingerbirdman says, hello, sir, from Gingerbread or Birdman. No one will ever know, perhaps. Can you please look at stock HAS on the daily? Sure, man. Yeah, actually, I mean, at this point, I like looking at stocks a lot more. Just because they do different things. Weekly time frame over here. Oh, sorry, you said daily, but I think weekly is going to get this one accurate or more accurately. I look at this as a real reversal. You're perfectly bouncing off of that green 55. It would be a higher low upon closure anywhere above $77 today, which I think, you know, is kind of likely here. So I do think, you know, I do think that this thing is reversing back into a real uptrend, actually. And this is, oh yeah, man, the monthly looks great. If the monthly can even just trade above September's high, I'd say, you know, I mean, I think it's already confirmed, to be honest with you, but that'd be like the last piece of the puzzle. And at that point, you know, I think just a general floating back up towards these highs at around 95 to $100 over the next few months makes a lot of sense. You know, quarterly time frame, you know, this looks like a very, very strong low to me at this point. Yeah, I think overall very good, man. I think overall very good for the long term. If you're just on the daily, it's going to be some, you know, some ebbs and flows here, but I'd just generally be bullish as long as you're above about 75.5 on the daily. But I think the focus really should be on the higher term time frames for this one, because that's where the obvious stuff is. The weekly time frame has switched into a full-on bullish posturing with all major movement averages, so I'm generally going to like that. So yeah, man. Biff the Bear says, I'm not gay, I promise. Wait, what? Mara low high time frame. Low high time frame. All right, low high and high low and Heidi low. Heidi low is some fucking Chinese hot pot place. It's actually really good. Elsa loves that shit. Anyways, I don't know. Heidi low. Remember the place that we went to in Singapore with the hot pot? Oh yes. Yeah, it's pretty good, huh? Yeah, it was pretty good. And also Korean barbecue. This shit is amazing. Like those Asians, they really figured out food, man. That's some of the best shit. Anyways, Mara, definitely, like, look, if I want to get into Bitcoin miners, I'd be looking at BitF rather than Mara. This is long-term fucking god-awful. Again, it's never made a new high alongside the rest of the market, despite surviving through multiple Bitcoin cycles here. So I just don't look at that as a good thing. Yeah, I, like, is the daily bearish here? I mean, not really. Is the weekly bearish here? Not really, but long term, I really don't like it. There's not any super obvious signals here, though, to be honest. If I had to call, I do think that it trades sideways and up from here, but you know, the problem with this thing long term is that it just has a history of making lower highs from cycle to cycle. So if that's true, then we really can't be looking at it to get back above, you know, these 2024 highs, or at least that would be unlikely, which I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me, to be honest, man. I do think at some point you will make a move up to like 31, 32 bucks. I'll put it that way. I don't know how that move occurs. I think as long as you're above about $18, then this would be a good place for that move to occur from. But that all hinges upon its ability to stay above 18. Kind of a hard chart for me, to be honest. Basically, what I would stick with is as long as you're above 18, I'd be bullish, I guess, looking for 30 plus. But second that you come back down below 18 on a higher term time frame, I'd be quite concerned. But yeah, difficult one for me, to be honest. Chris Vela says Tau weekly monthly has a halving in December. Well, as you know, halvings just immediately mean that you have to be bullish because fundamentals, right? Doesn't matter if your project actually, does anything or has any financial revenues or, even has a working product. But if you have a halving, that's what makes it go up. Of course, I mean, that is kind of true to be fair, because narratives do matter, right? Like a lot of the market is just narratives. But looking at this thing, just garbage, man, just garbage. As usual, not with you. You're not garbage. This, however, has been a garbage chart for a long time, continues to be a garbage chart. I think that there's a very obvious way to get bullish on it, though. Is a super obvious way to get bullish on this thing, which would be back above anywhere above the October highs of about 480. Above 480, I'd very easily get bullish on this thing for a move up significantly to like 600 and maybe even 650. But right now, I mean, this is a pretty nasty rejection, man. I don't like it. Now, I wouldn't necessarily confirm like the most obvious of bearishness with, this thing coming back down to like $200 or maybe even more over time until you're back below last Thursday's low, which was 342. But yeah, if and when that does happen, this thing is on a path back towards whatever that flash crash low from a couple Fridays ago was. Yeah, and I think just generally when we're talking about shitcoins, it's better to be betting on downside than upside. So yeah, but hey, if you can trade back above that 480 high, I mean, probably another 50% move to the upside. That would be big. That'd be big, but fair enough. Biff the Bear says NVIDIA, Ripper Dip. Fuck yeah, man. We got some NVIDIA action. We got some Ripper Dip action as well. I love this game. This is my favorite game. NVIDIA, I'd be looking for rip first. If I'm on the daily, I'd be looking for back around like 188, 190. Weekly, I mean, still bullish, still all good. Monthly, I'm not going to hate it as long as you're above the 5 EMA, but I do think that you might be in for a sideways consolidation here over the long term. It just depends what time frame you're on, man. Overall, long term, I'm still going to be bullish on this on the quarterly. Don't think that the highs are in just yet. So new all-time highs between, I don't know, the next 2 to 5 months. Daily time frame has hidden bullish evidence. I'm just gonna say rip, just based off of that, man. It's just an uptrend right here. Just respect the uptrend. Respect the uptrend. Let the uptrend do what uptrends do, which is just go fucking up. It's beautiful. I know that crypto people don't necessarily understand what that means because they just have never seen one, unless you look at Bitcoin, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, I see Faraz. SAR, please. Indian shitcoin MATIC. So SAR, please. MATIC BTC. Yeah. This is this an Indian shitcoin? Yeah, I think it actually is. Funnily enough, or maybe not funnily enough, there is actually not a Bitcoin parent for it, which is probably not a good sign. Wait, there's got to be something, right? Polygon BTC, MATIC BTC. There's really not a Bitcoin parent for this? That's weird. You think that there would be. I mean, there's a Bitcoin parent for nearly everything. But whatever. Yeah, man. This one's going straight to fucking Mumbai. It's not good. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I remember when this thing, like, look, if you were around back in 2021, by the way, you for anyone who doesn't know, actually know Faraz in real life, he is Indian, and he is probably the biggest hater of Indians, which is actually hilarious. So that's why he talks shit about India. But yes, it is an Indian shitcoin apparently. But if you were back in 2021, I think this is a good kind of case study, because if you're in this market in 2021, you probably remember the narrative surrounding Polygon or MATIC, whatever the fuck it was called back then, because many people were very excited about this thing. It was supposed to be like the most legitimate thing for 2021 cycle, or among the most legitimate things for 2021 cycle. And just like almost everything over a long enough period of time, what happens? The highs are the highs, and they never get revisited ever again. This thing is on a long-term trend towards zero. Probably never hits zero officially, but it'll get back around these ICO lows of 1 cent, 2 cents at some point. I don't know. It probably takes like a few years, to be fair. But yeah, this is just absolute garbage in chart form right here. It's just absolute garbage in chart form. If anything, this thing is poised for more downside from where it's at right now, rather than a bounce here. I'd go as far to say that if by some act of God you saw this thing around 50 to 60 cents, that would be I think the best case scenario that it'll ever do to the upside from here. And even then, man, I don't even think it's doing that. I think this thing is going down more bigly down. LP Philosopher says Monero weekly monthly setting up for a breakout. And thank you for, man. Can we be bullish on little crowns? Little crowns, yes. Let's see, Monero, XMR. Why is Zcash, fucking Zercash, getting the love when Monero is not? Now, Monero actually does look like it is getting ready for a Zcash type move, to be fair. I actually do think so. And this one has potential to be much stronger than Zcash just because, one, it's not using these fucking gender neutral pronoun fucking crypto names, but two, you're already around those prior highs and you are within the context of a weekly uptrend. So if this thing actually can trade and close a weekly above 358, 359 region, I think that you will at least retest this $450 to $500 high. And there's a real chance that this thing could break out. I mean, this thing has been in one mega macro consolidation for the past almost 10 years now, since 2017. So something like this. But, I mean, you are in a monthly uptrend right here, to be fair. You got higher highs and higher lows. So this thing actually does have a real chance to try the move to the upside. There's also a good narrative going on here, too, because of what Zcash has done. So, yeah. If I want to be bullish on it, I'd be more bullish on this thing than most things we've seen today, especially in crypto market. Daily has hidden bullish divergence over here. Overall, one of the better setup charts for sure. Absolutely for sure. Can it move without Bitcoin is a real question. Or I imagine if Bitcoin shows any sort of upside, this thing should do quite well. So we shall see. We shall see indeed. I'm going to take a sip of this water. We'll get into the comment section in just a moment. All right. I'm going to, I think we're through the super chats right now. So let's go to the bottom of the comments, see what's going on over here. Let's see. Re-hate from Alabama, who was a dishwasher in Finland. Well, take two guesses, sir. Faraz says MATIC was rugged, developer scammed it mid-bull run. Yeah, I'm not surprised, man. I even heard of a recent story of, what was it, Kaherpa, whatever the fuck. I think it's KDA. Was it this one? Just like the developers came out the other day and just said, yeah, we're abandoning the project. Again, you know, another thing that was just thought of as very legitimate, you know, the next Bitcoin or the next Ethereum, whatever the fuck, back here, you know, not that long ago. And what happens after that? I mean, this is not uncharacteristic of the majority of shitcoin charts, man. It's really not. And already making new all-time lows. So that's good. It's always a good thing. Solana, we already looked at that one. Hey, Crown, do you mind if we check out on ASTER? We can look at ASTER, man, but I you know, again, it's so new that I just don't have opinions on very new charts. Have to go to like very low term time frames. Like it hasn't even been around for a few weeks, man. I mean, pretty epic bounce here. It's part of the fucking CZ Binance cartel bullshit, so you never know with these guys. I really don't know on this chart. This would be the perfect place at 113 to put in the next lower high if it is going to continue with the downtrend. But I just don't trust trends on something that's been around for, you know, a couple weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks here, going on 3 weeks. Like, it's just not going off of enough. I don't have a real strong opinion on this. It is a 1 hour downtrend, you know. But the problem is that when you're on a lower term time frame like this on such a new asset, like, it really can just, you know, green dildo out of nowhere, or red dildo as well. But I think the hope here is obviously a green dildo. Colby Chu says, Citigroup C on NICE. Weekly, monthly. Got you, man. Likely to retest 160. Let's check it out. I've actually never looked at Citigroup. All right. Let's see. You are on a weekly and a monthly already. Daily bullish. Weekly, not as obviously bullish. Monthly could be a real reversal here, actually. This does look like a real reversal in progress on the monthly. So I do think overall having a bullish bias here is the correct thing to do. All major moving averages are in a bullish posturing as well. I think you do not have bearish divergence on the monthly just yet, but you know, there's going to be corrections from here. There's going to be corrections from here, but I would be generally betting on the upside. Now you're asking if it's likely to test the 160 region. So you're basically asking for a 60% move from where you're at right now. It's not my first target, but actually I do think that this thing can crawl its way there. But there's going to be many twists and turns along the trajectory towards 150, let's say. But yeah, I actually do think that the reversal is real here. This is not bad. This is not bad. And yeah, I do think Somewhere between like 150 to $200, in fact. So not bad. Low Energy Fin says, I tried Aster Dex yesterday. What a bunch of zing-zong shit. I'm going to... Oh my fucking God, that is hilarious. All right, I'm going to use that in the future. I don't know if it's racist. It sounds racist, but I'm going to pretend that it's not because that was fucking funny. That was really fucking funny. Zing-zong shit. It's a bunch of fucking zing-zong shit. Made in fucking China, zing-zong shit. Sing, chang, peng, zhao, zing-zong. Terrible. Black helicopters going overboard. Yeah. Let's see. Vahid Gabel says, big congrats. Thanks, man. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. Could you look at CORZ daily? Sure, man. What are the best practices? Technicals confirm a major high or top for the cycle on any given asset. I'm guessing CORZ is some random shitcoin, or is it a real? Okay. Actually, it's a stock. Okay, cool. So for traditional markets, when we're talking about like major cycle top, you really want to see, in my opinion, at least a weekly reversal. And I wouldn't even say it's a cycle top, but it's like a tradable reversal at that point. In this case, the monthly is continuation, man. Like, this is a new all-time high breakout in front of our very faces, I do believe. It'll be fully confirmed in about 7 days if it can just close above about, what, 18 and a half? Let's just call it $19, or 1863. If it closes above 1863, it's just continuation, man. And I do think that it likely will be. But of course, you want to go by the book, then wait for actually 1 week from today is when the monthly closes. But when am I looking for like a major high, a major swing high in traditional markets? I want to see 3 or more drives of bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. That will usually get like a pretty decent correction. I want to see, typically, if it's going to be like a major high, I want to see extremes on volatility on definitely a daily, but hopefully, preferably a weekly or higher. And if I want to confirm that reversal, then I really want to be looking for the weekly to enter into a downtrend with a lower low and a lower high. And that's going to be like a big corrective move. That's going to take many months to, figure itself out. So I think that's probably what you mean. But long-term in stocks, if you find a good stock, that's an actual good company, they generally just go up. Yeah, you can get like 20 to 30% corrections, but, is that something you want to trade around or not? I don't know. Depends, of course. Everyone's going to be different there. But yeah, man, those would be like the 3 major things I'd be looking for. Obviously, there's more stuff as well, but I think if you just want like a clean and easy 3 things to remember, that would be it. And I think those are generally pretty simple things to confirm for yourself as well. So yeah, Freddie M says BITF. We actually already looked at that one, man. Pulled back, go to all-time high now. No, sir. This is a high for a while here. I do think that given enough time, it probably does work its way back here. But look, man, you just fucking blew off your top. Like, be realistic for a moment. This thing just went vertical for an 850% move in traditional markets. Like, this is your alt season. This is your fucking alt season. This is what I've been trying to harp on for the past, few months now, is that the people in the crypto space who are looking at cryptos for alt season, you're missing the most obvious fucking opportunity in front of your face. And now the opportunities are mostly gone for these moves, because this thing is done for a long time. Now, I don't think it's entering into a major macro downtrend from here. No, but I do think that you're going to spend a lot of time going sideways and down. This is not done. This is not done like correcting, man. You haven't even gotten off of extreme conditions for volatility. So I think it's wise to be a little more realistic here, especially with the bearish divergence present as well. This thing's going to take a while, man. So don't expect 1 week of downside to be a correction after 6 months of straight upside for crazy moves. We're not just talking like a gradual upturn. We're talking about a fucking explosive 850% move. I mean, that's nearly a 10x fucking move in the past 6 months. I mean, that is, in my opinion, extremely unrealistic. So yeah. We can look at Sui. A lot of fucking people on the Sui train. Must be listening to Mr. Raoul Powell, who I actually really like listening to him. I like the hopium. I do like the hopium. Anyways, look, it's on the weaker side for sure. you do have potential for 3 drives of bullish divergence here. So I think that is the hopium on this thing. But I would not be looking at this thing as anything more than a downtrend until you're at minimum back above that Tuesday high, this past Tuesday's high of 269 or 270. If you can trade back above there and close a daily dodo above there, then I would be thinking that, okay, yeah, you got a nice rally back above like 3.25 to 350-ish region, somewhere in that pocket there. But this is a downtrend right here, and this is more likely to go lower than it is to reverse here. Now, if Bitcoin puts in a sizable move above 114, then yeah, this thing will try a rally towards 3.25, I'd imagine. But it's not good on its own, man. It's really not. This is an early cycle winner. It is not a late cycle winner. And so I think that the people who are, focusing their attention on this and especially allocating their resources to this, you're in the midst of like one of these long-term mega massive downside moves, just like the one that we just looked at over here with MATIC. You are looking at this blow off top right here and holding on to hopium that it's going to continue to do that, not realizing that, you're probably in the process of doing this long term, or it's more than likely you're going to be doing that long term. So yeah. Asian Massage says BITF has been good to me. Yeah, man, I'd imagine so. You just have to have a small position there, nearly a 9x move. Like, it's hard not to do great, over the past 10 months or so. We got Chris Fellow back. He's looking at Zen. We can look at Zen really quickly. There's another privacy coin. And again, man, I believe we looked at this one. Maybe it was for you, maybe it was for someone else, but we saw this spike up in the moment. I said, look, this is as good a place as any for the next major macro high. I think the same thing right now, man. I think I'm validated in that view as well. This is very likely to be your next your next major macro high for maybe for forever, but at least for a very long time. Again, just crazy shit right here. Going what? Almost 200% move off of the lows. This thing only ever goes down. I'm not going to be betting on this thing to, reverse the trend here. That's just very, 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 very unlikely. You're also getting rejected from the green 55 on the monthly. That's exactly where I look for rejections on, in alignment with the trend. Yeah, probably down only. Man. Anyways, a dingo ate my Satoshi, says GF101. What is this? I don't think I've looked at this thing. 10 bot gold futures. Is this for like the Thailand bot? Oh yeah, it is Thai gold bar stock. You literally say it right after that. My bad. Okay, I am the redact here. My apologies. Pretty nasty selling dildo right there. And I do think that gold versus a dollar has probably topped for a while. Short term, a balance. Anytime you get a major top like this, you are almost guaranteed to get a second wind rally where you put in a bull trap. So in this case, maybe it rallies back to like 65, 500-ish region. But that's kind of where I'd be looking for if this thing is going to be a real top, like on the weekly time frame. Because there are toppy signals here. You actually don't even have bearish divergence here, although got to be on the monthly. Oh my God, it's not on the monthly. But these are such extremes. Like, I'd be very surprised to see it make new highs from here. You got weekly extremes on volatility. I really would feel strongly that you're going to enter into a sideways consolidation, just like you saw on the last reads like this over here and also over here as well. These were multi-month long consolidations. I think you're going to do the same thing over here as well. I'll be absolutely wrong about this thing if you just trade above last week's high, but that's not a helpful piece of analysis. Overall, if I had to call, I think that you're coming down from here, sideways and down. Again, I'm not saying like it's down only for forever after this. No, not at all. But you can afford some pretty decent downside moves here and still maintain this long-term uptrend. So that's kind of my point. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Teo Frank-Tovic says, hey, can you please check out Caspa? Thank you. Oh, God. It's like some random shitcoin from a prior cycle. Well, don't judge it before you've seen it. But in this case, we judge it. We judge it as great investment, bro. Like, it's going down only, man. It's going down only. I've been saying this for a while. Who? What's up, Fibbo? Mr. Swanee. Elsa calls you Fibo. Like, as if you're like fucking fiber or some shit. Good to see you, man, as always. Yeah, for Caspa, I mean, look, man, we looked at this one back on over here and I said, look, as soon as you saw this rejection, that is just a continuation of this down. This is a shitcoin. This thing is going down only. If you get a rally, I think best case scenario, which I don't even think is going to happen to begin with, but you might get like a 50% rally to 7.5 cents or maybe 8 cents. But ultimately, this thing is down only from here. It's like, I wouldn't even expect it to get back above this high ever again, which is 12 cents. It's just garbage, man. Again, not you. Like, you're great as a person. As a chart, this is fucking garbage, man. Like, where do people get these ideas that these charts are worth anything at all? This is your traditional blow off top. It's going to do I'll tell you exactly what your future is going to look like. Okay, maybe not exactly what your future is going to look like. You are in this process right here where you're putting the blow off top and you're having your first move down. Then consolidates more and more and more, and then down, 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 more and more and more. It's just garbage, man. Just these things are just garbage. Same thing with fucking AVAX over here. Straight up, then straight down. Just, it's down only. These are down only. These are down only assets. So yeah, for us as SAR, please, I need to feed my family and my cow. Please look, only my coin, not others. FARTCOIN daily. Oh, baby. I know where we're going on this one. Yes, FARTCOIN. This one's going to be the real reversal, though. This one will go up and will make you rich out of nothing. That's right. It will go up 10x. No. 50x. No. 100x. And beyond, perhaps. And make you rich. That means you only need to invest $1,000 to get to 100 million kajillion. Tomorrow as well. Yes, these happen very quickly. So all you need to do is rub your hands together, click your fucking heels, and this thing gets shot to the moon and beyond. You just have to believe. And also join the Church of Prosperity. Yes, indeed. Give your donations to the Church of Prosperity now. Give money now. Money now. Give money to prosperity now. Yeah, man. Looks good. Looks great. I'll invest. I shall invest. Let's take another sip of this water. We can look at Link. I'm curious to see what Link is doing. I'm guessing it's going to be following the exact same path as Dogecoin, because those things have been very, very similar charts in the short term. I'd say the same thing over here. This thing may be slightly stronger, I guess. I don't know if that's a win, but most of these charts are hinging upon Tuesday's high. If they can trade above Tuesday's high, I'd be happy to call a short-term reversal. In this case, I'd be looking for this thing to pop back up to like 22, 23. But as long as you're below Tuesday's high, I think a lot of these things are getting ready for a push to the downside. It's just what it looks like to me. Again, Bitcoin, like, I cannot highlight how many fucking times this historical price action statistics indicator gets these daily highs and daily lows. It's insane. It's fucking insane. Let's see. Let's see. Asian Massage says, Crown, optical artist, a ring ding you mentioned. The ring ding. The zing zong. The zing zang. What was it again? The zing zang. Zing zong. He was using content from a channel I did TA on. When asked to stop, he tried to copy strike the channel owner. Total D-bag. Ellipses, not rings. Fair enough. Yeah, man. I'm not surprised. This space is... this space has some of the best people and some of the worst people, unfortunately. I don't know if I'd call them the worst, but I don't really know them, to be honest. But yeah. Anyways, Carolina Reaper says, Tesla weekly ripper dip. All good, man. Going on 8 years soon. They might just be from Carolina. Could be that. Tesla ripper dip. Depends what time frame you're on, of course. You're on a weekly. Okay. Oh man, this one's a really hard one for me. I want to be bullish on it. Yeah, I do want to be bullish on this thing. Let's go over here. See if there's any obvious signals here. Daily has some hidden bullish evidence, but that looks like it's... I don't like that. I don't think that's a great signal right there. Back above 450, I would say that's your confirmation of ripping action. I am inclined to say I do think that it will rip from here, but overall I'd be bullish. The question to me is, does it come down to like 370 first, or does it just rip from here? That I'm a little bit more inclined to say it rips from here, but I don't feel super strongly. Be Good says, have we entered the good news is bad news, bad news is bad news, no news is bad news, all news is bad news part of the market cycle? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Yeah. I really don't know, man. Anyways, Taryn Tracy says, could you please take a look at Brian Armstrong's DeSci project, Research Coin, RS, oh God, Research Coin for your researching needs. We're going to do all of our research on Research Coin. Yeah. Tell me how this chart is anything different than your traditional pump and dump fucking shitcoin chart, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to the moon, bro. It's buy everything you can on leverage, take out loans as well, max out your credit cards, make sure to not use a stop loss. Yeah, it's bad. A Carolina Reaper is a hot pepper, says Bills fam. Fair enough. I guess we're both wrong. What's the point of CPI today? What do you mean what's the point of CPI today? Like, what's the point? The point of CPI is for YouTube and Twitter herpity derps who know very little about markets to pontificate over and think that they know what's going to happen next based upon that, despite a literal spot 1% change. Unfortunately, it seems, as always, like the people who look into this shit, who put so much emphasis on this shit, it's just like, even if you knew the answer, even if you knew that CPI was going to be better than expected coming into today, you wouldn't have traded it properly because something else will happen. It's always a subjective point of analysis. It's always subjective. You cannot draw a clear correlation to price from that. That's why I think it's fool's gold, and it sounds smart. So you get all these smart sounding people on fucking Twitter and YouTube and Reddit and shit talking about this and you know, coming up with like amazing theories where I like, you know, I'll even like scratch my head. I'm like, the fuck does this mean? Oh, it sounds really smart. He's probably right. But at the end of the day, man, look, price isn't perfect, but at least it's closer to the reality of the asset than a CPI print ever will be. Anyways, Assie's looking at silver daily weekly. Let's check it out. Silver we last looked at, we were very bullish on it for most of this year, but I do think last we looked at it, we were looking for a correction. So let's see where we're at. Yeah. Oh yeah. We are getting a correction. And here's what I'm talking about. Extremes on volatility and testing a prior major high, or in this case, prior macro high, more or less. Look, overall, I'm bullish on this, actually. I'm actually overall bullish on this. I just think it's going to take a long time after a nearly vertical move to the upside for it to go sideways and down here, consolidate a little bit lower, maybe closer to $40, and then perhaps try another move to the upside. But, you know, this thing I think is done for the short term right now. At some point, I think you're going to come down to, low 40s, and then perhaps continue on from there. You know, overall, this is a long-term bullish chart. It's just in the short term, you know, I think that you've hit a major high right here, more or less. Arms Private says, so in your best case, do you think Bitcoin first comes to 104, 105? I think if in my opinion, it's my view that if you really want Bitcoin to make new ultimas as soon as possible, I think that there would be a move first to 104 rather than up from here first to fulfill that 5-day condition that we looked at earlier. Because that will bug me significantly if Bitcoin doesn't fulfill that and rallies first. Because you know that it's very, very likely to come back down to that number, you know, once that condition is met, which it has been. So that would make me very skeptical of any rally that you see from here without that move to the downside first. I mean, it's not even really even a significant move to the downside to fulfill that minimum condition. It's only 104 to 105 now. So, yeah. I totally understand, man. It's not a prediction. It's just like, if that were to happen, then I would just be very, I'd be super, super, super skeptical, you know, of that rally if it didn't come down first. And again, you know, I think it does deserve to be recognized here that this thing is getting rejected on what would be another lower high as of right now. It's a long day left to go, obviously, but you know, all higher term time frames still suggest that this is a cautious time. I'm not necessarily saying that I think cycle is over or anything like that, but I do think that Bitcoin has sideways and down from here, and that's okay. The more time it takes, the better, in my opinion. The more time it takes, the better. Spanak Production says, bro, the only point of crypto is to sell it. I really don't even get it, honestly. This is fucking stupid, but at least I understand I'm in the casino. Actually, if you had even a modicum of financial literacy, you'd understand that the point of holding an actual upside asset would be to just hold the fucking asset and take out loans against it. But if you're just talking about like your random crypto shitcoins, then yeah, you know, it is a total casino, and there's no point in holding them for the long term, because the longer that you hold them, the more and more likely they are to go to the downside. So maybe we're talking past each other. I don't know. Very possible. But yeah. Let's see. Do you trade on Hyperliquid? No, I really don't understand DEXs, to be honest. I still think trading on a centralized exchange is probably going to be better for most people. Like, you know, the links that I have in the description below for Blofin and Bybit are, I mean, you honestly, in my opinion, you honestly want a centralized exchange to do your trades. Why? Because if something bad does happen, you have someone to complain to. It's really that simple. It's really that simple because shit does go wrong. Even when I was trading traditional markets, shit would go wrong. Like you'd get incorrect fills sometimes, and you'd have to like go and contact, in my case, like my risk manager, and he would contact the exchange, and then I don't know what he'd do, but he would usually get that reversed, which was quite nice. But yeah, it does happen, man. It does happen. Arms Private says, do we have only that setup active right now? Let's see. Yeah, so on spot here it is active, correct? Yeah, so that one is active. Yeah, absolutely. That one is active. That can bleed into the weekly time frame, specifically for CME. If CME closes today, I would imagine below like 110, you might get that cross on CME coming into next week. But as of right now, yeah, that is the only one that's active at this exact moment. Correct, yeah. Maybe there's a 4-day one active for CME here. Let's see. Yeah, the 4... Ooh. Okay, I'm glad that you brought this up, man. So yeah, the 4-day has fired off for CME, and that one is a minimum target of about 102, 500-ish region. So yeah, just another reason, in my opinion, we're more than likely to see a wick down there at minimum coming up here before any sort of real try to new all-time highs. So yeah. Crusty Bastard has a nice super chat, but no message. All good, man. Let's see. Arms Private says tether dominance, short and long term. Actually, a really good idea. Let's check it out. Let's see. Back below 5%. I am really split on this chart. I would be super split on this chart. Okay, so there's two things that are obvious to me here. The one is that this is a downtrend, very obviously. But the biggest question to me is, does the next lower high come from here, or does it come from a test of the 200 simple? The 200 simple does actually make more sense. Why? Because that would be on a direct trend line from the last few major macro highs throughout this cycle, actually. And that would probably correlate with a Bitcoin move below $100,000 if I had to guess. So that would kind of make more sense to me. It is showing some sluggish signs right here, and there probably are some toppy signs right here. In fact, they are. 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence in the short term. You've already got the easy correction more or less, so the next correction would be down to like 467. So I guess you could top here. Yeah, I'm not going to be very helpful on this one, man, because I could easily see a high here. I could easily see a high a little bit higher. But both of them would be highs, and that would naturally be bullish for the Bitcoin's price if they turn down from either one of these levels. Just the real question is, does it turn down from higher, which means that we go below $100,000, perhaps just momentarily, but that would still be probably scary for a lot of people. So yeah. Mr. Jake the Snake says, we need a big V-shape recovery fast right now. Question, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Sir, calm your shit, man. Like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Who's we? And you don't need shit, man. You need Bitcoin to do something. Or your favorite shitcoin. I mean, probably talking like that, you're into shitcoins. So, yeah. This could be a higher low. I mean, you're talking about on the tether dominance chart? Could it be a higher low? It could be, yeah. It is technically, it is quite literally a higher low as of right now. Yeah, that is true. But still, so the way that I look at trend is that I always favor the dominant trend until you get a full-on confirmed reversal. So just having a higher low here is just one piece of the reversal. You need a higher high as well. And because the former trend is to the downside, I would still be looking at, if tether dominance was to get here, I would still be looking at it more likely to be a lower high first. It's not impossible to turn around and be a higher high, obviously, but just the way that I look at things, that's how I interpret it. I go with former trend first. Intel, yeah, we can look at Intel really quick, sure. Full disclosure, I do own Intel. It's been quite a very pleasant surprise, I'll say. I mean, I bought this thing back in like 2022. Pretty crazy shit, man. It was like $22 or so. Wait, that can't be right. Wasn't even trading there at 2022, but I did buy it at low 20s. I know that. Maybe I doubled down into it. Anyways, if we're talking about just a short term, I'd actually still be looking for this thing to try a little bit more upside from here. I see several drives of hidden bullish evidence on low volatility. I'm a lot more inclined to say that it does try another upside move from here, maybe up to like 42, 43. Yeah, it's a weird chart because I do think that this is going to be a macro low right here. I actually do think that this is going to be a macro low, but can this thing sell off of this trend line test again and come down a little bit, consolidate lower, and then try to the upside? It's possible, yeah. So it might take longer time. Yeah. Asian Massage says, Tether Dominance, I'm also having a hard time reading. 479 possible support, 513 possible rejection. Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I need a joke, says Adrian Lefebvre. We already looked at Stinky Linky as well. Jake the Snake is putting emoticons because emoticons are what redacted people like to use. Kidding, man. Sorry, I'm just like picking on people for no reason. I apologize, man. That was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. Not even true. Sorry, mom. CORZ Cryptos and Conspiracy says PRCH stock. Okay, this is a new one for me, I think. Porch Group. Very racist name. Very racist name. I'm not going to ask. Oh, God. All right. There's way too many jokes to say to this, and all of them are despicable. Look, I think that this is another higher low right here. You got hidden bullish evidence on low volatility. I think this is going to pop back up towards 18, 19 bucks. I would be kind of defensive in this region here because a lot of the time you will, have major consolidations and pullbacks around prior all-time highs and prior areas like this. But in the short term, I do think it pops back up around there. Let's take another one. Let's look at Syrup. Is Syrup entering into the long-term downtrend of destiny that nearly every shitcoin enters into over a long enough period of time? Perhaps yes. Oh, what do you know? Yes, indeed it is. Crazy. Yeah, man. Well, the good news is that, well, there's not, but, yeah. The good news is that you don't have to pay attention to it anymore. Hopefully I don't get asked about this highly esteemed piece of technology any longer. So there's that. Bitcoin back down below 110. It's almost as if the trend is being your friend. Who knew? Is Dubai worth moving to for the low taxes? If you're American, you're not going to get low taxes because you pay taxes on worldwide income. If you are from a different nation that does not have worldwide income taxes, then it could be. I mean, look, if that's what you really prioritize, then of course Dubai is probably one of the best places for that. It's very secure there. It's very clean there. In general, things work quite well there. If you like nature, maybe it's not the best place for you. If you like clean air, maybe it's not the best place for you. And again, check your current jurisdiction or your citizenship tax laws, because some countries do tax on worldwide income. And if they do, then, well, you're going to be paying tax no matter what. So fair enough. Crusty Bastard says, forgot to message. I figured so, sir. I figured so. Congrats. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. SEC Secure Waste on Canada. SES. Jesus, almost messed that one up. Here we go. Secure Waste. Let's see it. Good on the weekly. I do like this for a higher low here. No hidden bullish evidence, but I do think it is going to be a higher low, and I do think that it pops back up towards these highs of like 21-ish. Kind of similar one to the last chart in that, once you get back towards these highs that you saw from nearly 10 years ago, you're very likely going to spend a long-term period of going sideways and down just to consolidate the move. But overall, I think it's okay. Maybe even it's starting to occur right here. Very well could be actually coming in from here. But I do think in the short term, you have another pop back up around that high. Yeah, I think you pop back up around here. But I don't think that the move is going to continue significantly to new highs from where you're at right here, if at all, before a prolonged sideways period. So, yeah, maybe it gets to like 22 or 23 first. I think it's kind of possible, but still, this has been, again, like a vertical move since 2020. So like to see a nice prolonged consolidation sideways. That would be lovely. Spanak Production says total reset back to lower lows. All good, man. Once it's there, risk it, buy it, then get the fuck out on the first bounce. Ah, yes. We are going to buy it. We're going to buy a down only asset and get out on a bounce instead of just buying an up only asset and buying on a higher low. Great idea. Adam Kalane says, GM sir, I'm gay for your TA. I'm gay for my TA as well. Triple Q buy limit ranges, holding for 5+ years. I don't like answering these questions, man. I'm not going to be your financial advisor. Again, you can't put me under that sort of scrutiny, because that is quite literally illegal to act as that. Do I think that this? I don't think this thing's going up, man. This thing's going. I don't think this thing's going down. It's going up. This is going up. This is an up asset. This is an up only asset. I wouldn't be buying this thing until I get like a 10 to 15% correction to the downside. This thing is up only right here. If I wouldn't even mind buying it right here, to be honest. I think it's going to go up more. You got hidden bullish evidence on the weekly and the daily. The monthly's continuation. Like this is up. It's going up. It's going up. Up. Uppity up. It's as he says, Crown, I need to know where to put all my money that is not on an all-time high tear. Platinum, sir. What is Platinum's? Is it XPT? I think it's XPT. Yeah, it is. The funny part is that the things that are at all-time highs are the best thing to actually put money into. But fair enough. Play your game if you do insist on it. I don't hate it. I think it's going to generally be fine. Are you going to have as many gains percentage-wise as going into, an equity that's just been on an all-time high tear? Probably not, but I think it's fine, honestly. I'll just be generally bullish on this thing as long as you build like 1,300. So you got like, what, 5% risk to the downside, more or less? Something like that. Yeah. Cadena is dead. They killed the project. That could happen to any shitcoins. Yeah, it also happens to all of the shitcoins that don't that don't get deaded. It's like, here's the thing. Can you tell the difference between a dead project chart and an alive project chart? Okay, this is your dead one. All right, looks super different, right? Okay, here's your chart. All right, I'll put it on log scale as well, so it looks even, slightly better. All right, can you tell the difference between an alive chart and a dead chart? All right, so here's your literal dead chart. How about an alive chart? AVAX. Is this any different? No. What about I don't know. I'm gonna need some shitcoin tickers here. Actually, I don't even know enough at this point. What about this one? This is an alive chart, right? Or it's an alive project, right? Does the chart look any different? No. What about hype isn't dead yet? What about this thing? Oh, it's another down only chart in the making. It's like, it doesn't need, my point is you don't need them to literally just rug the project. It's going to rug on its own, man. All these things are, 99% of these things are fucking garbage, dude. Like, seriously, they really are. They really are. They really are. Happy wedding, Crown. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Monopoly says, Crown, when did you identify a trading model that worked for you? I mean, like the first one that I ever did, I don't know, it's more than like 10 years ago. Did you create a strategy based off what your mentors curated for you? Yeah, I mean, basically the way that I started, and I think the best way for anyone to start is to first reference someone's model who, it's already working for them. And then from there, make small changes as you get more and more comfortable with it, which will naturally take, months probably. I mean, it took me months. But you'll naturally make modifications to it that align with your own natural preferences as you notice new patterns and new things emerging from that. And then over a long enough period of time, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, your model is going to look like completely different than your mentor's model, but it'll still have been based off of that at the beginning. And I think that's the best way to do it. And that's generally the best way to learn most things, generally. So yeah. Or did you find it more successful backtesting your own ideas? Well, at some point, it does become your own idea, and just backtesting is going to be the way to validate that. Absolutely, yeah. Let's see. Looking for a rotation. Could be. I really don't know. Let's see. Dreams, a liquid small cap shitcoin on DEX, but X402. Oh god damn. Okay, just bunch of fucking marketing bullshit. Sir, got some bad news for you. Let's see, BNB rep or dip. Give me a time frame, man. Give me a time frame. I like playing rip or dip, but a time frame on top of that makes the game a lot more, I think, like valid. Anyways, if we're on a daily here, Oh, this one's actually kind of hard. I do think that there is a good chance it'll rally up to 1200 first and then come down. But I do feel very strongly that this is a swing high right here. You have some bearish evidence on your weekly time frame, probably even on the monthly as well. Let's see. Actually, no, it's not. Well, I wouldn't really be looking at the monthly right here. But yeah, you know, if I'm on the daily, I think you got a short-term upside move followed by a further correction to the downside. But long-term, it's bullish. I mean, to be, you know, this is one of the few crypto charts that actually rivals Bitcoin in a way. You know, here's a real chart. I mean, that's pretty fucking impressive. But yeah, I do think that this is going to be a swing high right here. I think long-term is still going to be bullish, but I guess it just depends on what time frame you're looking at, man. All shitcoins will collapse like Cadenus, says Cryptomon. I mean, again, 99.99% of them, you know. Will Ethereum do that? Will XRP do that? I don't know. Or at least maybe not anytime soon, but, you know, 99% of them certainly will. Just takes time, man. Just takes time. Crown's free courses, then watch his videos. Still got to risk it though. Probabilities. Yeah. Again, like I have a bunch of free content on YouTube. You can reference. You don't need to pay shit. Just watch it. It's there. It'll get you, you know, a good sort of base of education in trading and technical analysis. If you really want to go deeper, then of course I do have the Trading Bible. That's like super in depth. It covers not just like regular trading, if you will. It'll also cover options trading. It'll also cover mindset. It'll also cover quantitative analysis. It'll also cover long-term analysis and trading and investing. So yeah, it's much more in depth. Not really going to be for everyone, but for the people who really want to go like super deep, then that would be it. Let's see. Adam Black says, I finally sold all my doggy coin, Cardano, Litecoin, still made profit, but no more shite coins. Thanks for hammering it home. Congrats you guys too. I appreciate that, man. And more power to you. It's like a fucking, you prayed the gay away. It's amazing. You did it. It worked. I'm kidding, man. Look, I have nothing against gay people, to be honest. I really don't. But it is a funny term, praying the gay away. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, and even those ones, like they haven't been the worst of the worst, but even by not being the worst of the worst, you always have to measure the success of a shitcoin versus Bitcoin in the same way that you measure the success of holding a singular stock versus your major indices like SPX or triple Qs, for example. And all three of those have massively underperformed Bitcoin for a very long time. I mean, you know, I think Litecoin is probably the best example of this. Like Litecoin hasn't like had the worst US dollar chart compared to most things, because at least it hasn't made like new lower lows, but versus Bitcoin, it's only lower lows. It's just god awful. I mean, you know, even from, you know, 2018 to where we're at right now, that's down 98%. It's just pathetic. Like when you're holding that, you just lost out on such significant gains by just not holding Bitcoin. It's a total fucking waste of time. So yeah. Get some help, man. Buy some real things with your profits. Only way to succeed. Stop being emotionally attached to vaporware shitcoins. Look, I don't disagree with you, but I think people just kind of need to learn their own lesson, because after doing this for like almost 8 years now, I think it's safe to say almost everyone needs to go through their own disastrous shitcoin experience before they will be open to seeing things or seeing shitcoins as what they are. Because again, most people join this market during the most parabolic of parabolic times. And so they see a shitcoin go up like 10% in a day and they think that that's just normal, and that happens all the time, and it doesn't. It can go down 10% in a day, like pretty much any time, but going up 10% in a day or more is something that's extremely rare and typically, you know, indicative of the last gasps of a bull market. So yeah. I don't know. And at the end of the day, people are free to do what the fuck they want to do. Like if some herpy derp wants to hold, you know, their random shitcoin, like more power to you, you know. I'm not here to fucking stop you from doing it. I'm here to give you an opinion on the chart. It's probably not gonna be a good opinion. Might not be an opinion that you want to hear, but I'll give you my opinion on it. If you still want to hold it, fucking hold it, man. It's your prerogative. Like if you just want to be fucking giving, in my opinion, it's just giving away your money to really unscrupulous actors who, you know, for the most part, for most of these projects, it is a scam. You know, like the people who are working on this project have no intention of completing it outside of just marketing efforts. And yeah, some of them actually are trying. And even then, keep in mind that even when you actually are trying to run a successful business, it's nearly fucking impossible anyways. Why? Well, look at statistics. even for real companies, like 80 or 90% of them fail within the first year. And of the ones that succeed, so like the last 10%, of those 10%, only 50% or less than 50% will even turn a profit. Like it's really fucking hard to create a successful business, even harder when you just, strap it on top of some random fucking shitcoin, that's destined to do the disastrous moves as they typically are. It is what it is, man. The Raven Eye says, "LOL, that's so real. I didn't believe it until I got wrecked myself." Yeah, we all go through it. We all have our we all have our experiences. And as the saying goes, a smart man learns from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. There's really just very few wise people out there in the world. I'm not fucking wise. I had to learn from my own mistakes. It's painful. It sucked, like massively sucked. But yeah. It is what it is. I guess like what really makes you smart is like how quickly do you start to adopt those new views based off of the evidence shoved in front of your face. Because some people, they stay in that shit like, they just don't even get out. They also are prone to, getting addicted to drinking laundry detergent. So there's that as well. Straight Path says, "Can we please look at CLSK daily weekly?" Sure, ma'am. Sure. Clean Spark. Not bad here. Actually, potential for hidden bullish divergence on this current low for the daily. So short term, I might have a bias towards like 20 to 20 and a quarter. Weekly, you're back around these prior highs over here. Relatively high volatility for what we've seen recently. So I do think that this is a stopping off point. I don't think that you're going to like zoom up to new highs above $24 anytime soon, but I'm also not necessarily bearish on it. I think you're in a consolidation range. You just hit the range high. You're going to come down and find a low. After maybe a short-term rally attempt, maybe it comes down to like 14-ish or something like that, maybe 13. I don't know, but I think it's done going up significantly to the upside for now, and just give it some time to consolidate. And ultimately, this thing actually does look like it might have some long-term viability, but in the short term, I don't think so. This is why I invest in XRP and Ripple. Fair enough. You're also getting massively outperformed by Bitcoin as well, but that's okay because it's going to 589 tomorrow. Yeah, here is your XRP versus Bitcoin chart. So that's great. There's that. Still down massively from 2018, but what about 2021? At least it's not down that much from 2021. Here's your 2021 high. Hold on. 2021 high to where you're at right now, you are down about 50%. So, sorry, 44%. So you could be, I don't know. Let's see. I want to get this right. There we go. You could be about 90% more wealthy if you just held Bitcoin. So yeah, again, there's that. But I'm glad that you still have your Ripple coins, your Ripple tokens. My tokens! Yes, my tokens! I love how they're called fucking tokens too. Like, tokens are what I think of when I go to fucking Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese. Like, for fuck's sake, tokens? My crypto tokens! Guys, we need to invest in these tokens! They're gonna make us rich! Okay, guys, listen, everyone needs their token to use Herp Chain because Herp Chain only uses the Herp token, and without Herp token, you can't buy your Herps. And that means you can't even get in! It's like, all right, but why do you even why do you even want to go into Herp token? What? PENGU? What? Oh, PENGU. Oh, yeah, I missed that one. Sorry, Capitan. PENGU, the PENGU tokens. Yes, my PENGU tokens. I'm going to be collecting all these tokens. Oh, amazing tokens to be collecting. Wow. Incredible. My tokens are going down. PENGU tokens are shit. Oh! How could this happen? How could the government let this happen? My precious tokens are going down and they're entering into the long-term downtrend of destiny. It won't go up. My tokens! I need my PENGU tokens. It's the only way to buy my penguins on the blockchain, okay? I own a penguin in Antarctica connected to my PENGU tokens. Give me my PENGU tokens. Go up now. Penguins are dying out there. Penguins are fucking dying. And my PENGU tokens go down. Someone's got to save the PENGU tokens. Yes? Yeah, there's a great chance. Capitan has let us know the truth about the PENGU tokens. The PENGU tokens, the PENGU project sells real toys at stores, unlike Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't sell anything at stores. Yes, and remind me, can I buy my PENGU toys at stores with the PENGU tokens, or do I need dollars? We did. We actually did meet Mr. PENGU at a sanctuary in Dubai, and I can confirm no PENGU tokens were exchanged. We had to use dirhams. That's right. Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck about your toys. My toys! My toys! Holy shit. Like, the response is beyond parody to the point where I don't even know if I can make a joke against it because this might be a redacted person, like for real. Sir, yeah, they might be selling toys at toy stores. Doesn't mean they're going to be successful. Doesn't mean that their token is even related to it. And if their token is related to it, then they ain't doing a fucking good job, or they're not having success with their business. This is a down-only chart. This is a literal down-only chart. Doggy coin is a coin. It's not a token. Oh, no. All right. What else do we have here? My right headphone speaker just broke. Sorry. Faraz says, I want to fry some fucking pengus. Well, sir, you will need 100 pengu tokens for that. And that is about $2. In fact, they're trading for 2 cents right now. If you need 100 to fry one pengu for one penguin, it's going to be $2, sir. They do have successful NFTs. Ah, my successful NFTs. Amazing. Yes. 2021 called. They wanted their scam project back. That was the biggest actually of all time. Actually, they sell toys at Toys R Us. Ha! Idiot, crown, stupid. He didn't even know the Pengu tokens are sold at real stores for dollars. Not Pengu token. Fuck, it's not for Pengu tokens? You mean there's no real demand for this thing? You mean it's not even protected for the project to begin with? You mean it's really just there to enrich the founders who don't give a fuck about penguins? This is all conspiracy, man. This can't be real. This can't be real. There's no way this is real. 420, they nerfed my name. How dare they? Good to see you, though, man. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yes, the Pengu token has a strong community. Fuck your revenues. We have community, bro. Ha! Trading at 10p. It's like people are mad that stocks trade at ridiculous price to earnings ratios, but they're not mad at crypto shitcoins that have no earnings yet have some price in some market cap that's above zero. It's absolutely insane. It's actually insane. It's actually insane. Don't worry, guys. Pengus are getting an ETF tomorrow. They're going to have deflationary supplies. They're going to have a halving soon. The Pengu tokens will be going up soon, okay? We're going to save the Pengus. We're going to save the Pengus with our Pengu tokens. Amazing. Fucking amazing. We need to bring back shitcoin bullying. Unfortunately, it'll probably never work. Look, some people are just destined to lose it all with shitcoins, just like some people gamble until they lose their last fucking penny. It is what it is, man. You have to remember, like, I think it's like 1 in 30,000 people is actually literally a psychopath, crazy, completely redacted person. Okay, 1 in 30,000. So we have a community here of just over $200,000. So that means, statistically speaking, there's like about almost 7. There's like 6.5 actual psychopaths in this community. And I welcome you. because I am also a psychopath. But I ain't fucking buying your PENGU tokens, you crazy motherfucker. I see viewers going more quickly to zero than the penguins. Fair enough, man. If you want to buy your PENGU tokens and you really take offense to my analysis on the PENGUs, it's probably better that way anyways, sir. It's probably better that way anyways. Can we look at shitty Cardanios? We can look at shitty Cardanios as well for the car dealers out there in the world. Ah, yes, my Carderpios, my herpety derpios. I don't know what's worse, PENGU tokens or fucking Carderpos. Probably PENGU tokens, because at least Carderpo had one cycle of going up. Yeah, my PENGUs, my fucking beanie babies. And my Labubus, yes, my Labubu tokens. Yeah, these motherfuckers need some Labubu tokens. Holy shit. I mean, seriously, like, you should lead this community if you do like that. There probably is Labubu token. It probably has more value than fucking PENGU shit, fuck. Anyways, Cardano, it's the same chart as everything else, man. It's like, look, if it can trade above Tuesday's highs, I think you got to rally here to like 82 to 85 cents. But honestly, as long as you're below that, the bias is bearish. And the second that you come back down below Wednesday's low of 60 cents, or what is it? 61 cents almost, you know, you're going to play out this ascending triangle and you're probably going to see somewhere down around like, I don't know, 55 to 50 cents low. Maybe just lower for forever. Who knows? We may never know. Andreas Fassman is a confirmed PENGU community bagholder. Bro, he's the community moderator. He needs to go around to other crypto channels and make sure that no one talks shit about my PENGU tokens. That is his literal fucking community position. And what does he get paid in? Well, he gets paid in PENGU tokens. Amazing. Amazing. Kremlin coin. It's worse that good projects are still and probably will always be shit. Well, I mean, look, there's going to be some successful ones for sure. But yeah, the default is scam. The default is failure as well. Like, even if it's not a scam, even if it's a legitimate business, the default is failure for any business. It's very difficult to create a successful business. It's very fucking difficult. So it's always funny when people who have like literally zero experience in, you know, reading financials or anything like that are talking about, you know, a project having a great team and, you know, a great roadmap and great ideas and all of this and that. It's like, I don't fucking know it either, but at least I'm honest with myself. I don't fucking know. Does that still exist? Nobody knows, sir. Nobody knows. Crown, how do we super chat you in Penguin? You go to www.retard.com and send it through there, I think. I think they have a portal for PENGU tokens. BGood419 says, can we discuss the optimal GTO way of playing craps online for money? Actually, I have no idea, to be honest, man. I actually don't know how to gamble properly in like actual gambling. I just know how to gamble properly in trading. It's called probabilities, which I imagine is probably what, or it's absolutely what the real gamblers are doing as well. Have you looked at the accumulation and distribution indicator lately? I haven't, because I just haven't. This cycle, I have not seen it operate in the way that you'd expect it to. Like, I had to throw it away about a year ago or a year and a half ago, because it would have had me very bearish about a year and a half ago. So yeah. Anyways, Jesus. Okay, can you ban Capitana? Like, you can make fun of me, but you can't make fun of Elsa. Like, you're just a redact, sir. Anyways, how much is Redcoin? I know he's making fun of you, but like, what a fuck. It's fucking weird, man. Super fucking weird. Anyways, Redcoin. Wait, where do I know Redcoin from? I think I remember this. I swear. Let's see. Is this still on TradingView? Probably not. Redcoin. Is it Reddit coin? No, it's not. They have Reddit stocks. That's kind of crazy. Elsa's laugh is like one of the main reasons why I love her. Jesus Christ. Have you looked at Circle lately? I haven't, but I did call a top there quite a while ago. I'm curious to see if that's still holding, or maybe if this thing is bottom. If it has bottom, I'm actually very interested in it. So let's see. I guess it's over here. I do have it on my list for sure. I would not call a bottom yet. But there's some hopium. There is hopium for a bottom, because it does seem to be entering into potentially a sideways range here. But I wouldn't call it yet personally. Yeah, I would be actually a lot more willing to buy a breakout above 160 than I would to be buying right here. That's just a personal opinion. But it is still objectively a downtrend. So I wouldn't be, I don't want to front run this reversal, but I actually do want to position this one long term. I just don't want it here. I'll buy higher if I have to. That's fine. Can you check out BBCA banking stocks? Sure. Not something that I've looked at before. This thing here, or are you talking about this thing here? Which one are you talking about? There's actually a bunch of them. It's hard to say. Hard to say. What's up, Nikki Page? Good morning to you. There was always a guy who came. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There. Yeah. It was that. God. I think he was like Middle Eastern or something. Yeah. I remember exactly who you were talking about. 420. I know exactly who you're talking about. God damn, man. It's always cool to see the OGs because they know the stories. They know the stories, man. I appreciate that, guys. Do appreciate that. Bang Central Asia. Okay, so this one right here. Got it. All right. If I'm looking at the weekly, man, this is exactly where I want to see a lower high on the green 55 there. So yeah, you could call it a double bottom, but if you're looking for the bounce on a double bottom, you've already gotten that. That's the easy play. I don't know. I don't know. I personally would still be going with the downtrend on the weekly here, because not because I think that the downtrend is inevitable for this thing, but because the upside reversal condition is like super, super obvious, and I'd much rather buy a confirmed reversal with a weekly closure above 9,000 than I would right here. To me, this is still a downtrend. If you can trade above and close above a weekly on 9,000, I think that your reversal is real, and this thing, is probably going up only again. But for now, I mean, it's come down a lot for sure. It's very easy. It would be very easy to argue that this 33% correction could be the next macro low. So yeah. Not sure just yet. Hey, two arms. What's up, Yarbrook? Cool. IONQ, any more upside? Let's check it out. This is one of the more popular stocks we were looking at recently. I forget what it looks like though, so I don't remember what I said on it last. Okay, that's starting to look a lot more like a major high. And I do think that it is a major high. And I do think that you could actually bounce a little bit more from here, but I don't think it's going to like V-bottom back up to these $85 highs and beyond. I think that ship has sailed now. I do think that you will get a bigger bounce here, though. Okay, I guess I already have drawn it out, so because I was looking for something like this. I think it'll bounce a little bit higher than what than what I got my LARP lines on right there. Maybe something like this. I don't know if it even comes this low, by the way, but I do think that it will come lower at some point, and I do think it will bounce more before that, and then maybe settle somewhere down around there. That could be into the next higher low. Overall, long term, I'm not going to hate it. Like that is a, it's a good chart. I think it's just done for a long time. Okay, maybe it's a little bit too early to be calling it a good chart, but I think it has potential long term. I would want to see it consolidate lower for a while. Something like that, man. Something like that. Okay. Wow. Some pretty fucking wow. Oh. I know, I just read that one. Pretty fucking miserable person, Stanley Lelnuts. Pretty fucking miserable, man. I'll buy anything named BBC. Yeah, well, you don't have to marry her. I'll gladly take it though. Anyways, I'll buy anything called BBC. Yes, it's on redtube.com, sir. Let's see. Maybe one more, then we'll call it a day. NVAX on the 1 minute, please. I mean, if you're serious about the 1 minute, I'll look at it for you. On traditional markets, it actually is a little bit more readable than your traditional shitcoin chart, but I'm guessing based off of the long-term chart here, it's going to be, well, very much a shitcoin of the traditional markets. If I had to call it on the 1 minute, it's down, man. This is a great new major high there. Something like that, man. VWRP, daily weekly, please. VWRP. Oh, this Vanguard one. Okay. Interesting. All right. It's like all world's ETFs. The 1 minute is very bullish. Higher term time frame is bullish as well. I like it. I think that this thing's going to make a new all-time high, and probably a significant one at that. I mean, to eat up this August dump so quickly after that is a very bullish sign in my experience. But it can take a while to happen, of course. You're on a daily and a weekly. I'm on a monthly right there. But yeah, even on a weekly, I think that's happening soon, man. I think that's happening soon. That's fucking good. Multiple jobs have hidden bullish evidence on the daily time frame right there as well. Anyways, All right, last one for cars, cryptos, and conspiracies. Wolf on the weekly is a new one. Must be a crypto, or is it a stonk? No, it's actually a stonk. TerraWolf. Could look at Coinbase really quickly as well. Hidden bullish divergence. I think it does try a little bit higher from here, maybe like 14.80 to $15. But I do like this area for like a weekly swing high. So I don't think you're going to make a new high on this rally. I think that you're going to continue sideways, man. We'll end it with coin. We kind of began it with coin as well, to be fair. 344. Pretty nice bounce here. This is what I'm talking about. I'm still not super convinced that it's ready to like zoom back up towards this $400 high, but I do really like this consolidation range, and I think that it's boding well for the long term on this thing. You know, you do have hidden bullish evidence on this last daily low, so I guess maybe it does have a chance to actually reclaim this 355 high, and if it does, I guess I would be looking for 380, 390. Long term, I'm going to be bullish on it. Short term, I would still lean towards sideways range, but sideways range will favor the bulls long term, so I do like that. All right. Crown, when eating minced meat, I think you mean ground beef during depravity, what kind of species or spices would you recommend? Sincerely, I don't use anything other than salt, man. I really don't. I'm just super sensitive to like everything, I feel like, but I also just like it plain like that, man. Just super high fat, you know, 20% fat and a shit ton of salt. Ooh, man. That is like fucking gourmet to me, man. I still eat it. I actually have one sitting in the fridge. I'm really looking forward to eating it tonight. I love it. I fucking love it. I can't get enough of it, man. All right. Anyways, we shall end things on that note. I just want to thank everyone for joining in. It's been another fun stream as always. Feel like we went over a lot on this stream actually as well. We went over the PENGU tokens. We also went over a lot of traditional markets too. Been really enjoying getting more into traditional markets as well, just because you get a lot more variety in charts, and I don't know, it feels like the next kind of mature thing to do. Shit, just realized coin does not sell toys. Shanette says, shit, I just realized Coinbase doesn't sell toys. I need to sell. That's right, man. But they do sell your PENGU tokens there, I think. I think it actually is on Coinbase, to be fair. So at least there's that. But yeah, you know, I've actually really been enjoying that. So we'll continue on with the regular live stream schedule coming into next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know, maybe I might, once there's a few more life events that we have to get through, but once those occur, there may be some more prevalent streams coming on, you know, more like hangout streams on Twitter and shit like that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these. Hope everyone's doing well on this nice little Friday morning. A pleasure as always. We will end things there. Take care. Much love, and see you hopefully Monday. I will perhaps release a video over the weekend regarding some more long-term investment stuff. But yeah, we'll see if I get it finished before then. Anyways,